Hi everybody, my name is Tommy and you're watching my freshly created YouTube channel called Growing Old with Tommy G. Growing old because I'm 50 this year, yay, 2018. And I thought I'd document my memories as I create them starting this year onwards into YouTube for public consumption, share with everybody in the world. If you care. Alright, so today what I wanted to talk about is, I was prepared to talk about long distance relationship, but I think I'll think about that next week. But I want to talk about today a turn back time or TBT kind of topic. So this is my volunteer work in 2017 in the Philippines, and this is kind of like fitting this hat. This is why I wore it today. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'll take you to my trial run. When I arrived, trial run to the feeding program, and then the group volunteer that we did, share with you some pictures, and then show you what the area is about. I have some kind of harsh pictures that you'll see. To me it's harsh because, you know, having lived in the States for 30 years, I forgot what poverty is really like in the Philippines. Alright, there's more to come. Alright, volunteer work in 2017, that's the topic today. In January through March 2017, I spent a good 8 weeks in the Philippines, a vacation that I chose to do partially to take my mom to the Philippines for the very first time after 30 years. We've lived in the States since 1987, and my mom hasn't even gone back to the Philippines. So I took her there along with my auntie, and along with that purpose, I wanted to also raise funds for a charity and then do some volunteer work, right? So it was a vacation and then volunteer as well. So I raised funds for a charity called Project Pearls, and I'll link their page here and what the organization as far as the pearls stand for. So yeah, so I raised funds for this charity, and I chose this charity because I grew up in a district of Manila where the kids, the poor kids, are fed weekly of breakfast, right? So literally, when I was growing up, the slum area is only about 7 blocks away, 7 streets away. So I know what poverty, or I know the general vicinity of the area, but I don't know the extent because I never really went inside the slum. So this is the very first time in 2017 that I actually went inside the squatters area. Yeah, it was a shock. But in the next upcoming snippets of videos and pictures, you'll see the center, because I did a trial run, if you will, of feeding the kids in the center one Saturday. I also wanted to know how to get there, and then what the center is about, how to, what the process of feeding the kids is, and then kind of like tell my friends what to expect, right?
Yan, marami dyan. Squatter area.
Yeah, this is
May namin sa field din.
this is
Anong area to? Ito po, Kapulong Street na to. Kapulong.
this is the area.
Bilang kalye, Velasquez. So this is my kind of trial of volunteering day feeding program. This is where your money is going.
So you saw the video of my trial run. I was a little emotional because I couldn't believe, I guess I forgot how poor people really are in the slums of Manila. There were 2 kids that were there, 2 boys, brothers, whose faces just, you know, was a huge slap to me because, you know, it's a slap of reality, if you will, right? Because when I saw these kids, they were happy, but, you know, they were wearing big shirts that are totally, like, not their size. They're about maybe 7 or 8 years old, right? But they were wearing big shirts and dirty, right? And I'll show you the picture of them. And, you know, they're not necessarily real, you know, happy, but they're okay. But it's just that, you know, it was a little strange to me to see kids with, you know, like dirt on their faces, and then dirty shirts showing up to a feeding program. So, you know, to me, that was a kind of like a culture shock still. I did tell you that I grew up close to the slum area, but I've seen those type of kids. But again, having lived in the States for a while, it was, you know, it becomes a culture shock. You know, we're not used to seeing that anymore. Imagine 30 years of not seeing that level of poverty. But it's a great thing that I actually went, because I got reminded of where my roots are. I grew up in a I'm from a poor family, so nothing to be ashamed about. But you know, largely what I wanted to impart to these kids is that if I were able to get to a stage where I'm at right now with education, they should be able to, right? And so that's what I did. So you know, I got emotional a little bit during that feeding process, because I could see like every little kid, and they're obviously very hungry. So dirty and hungry, but kids are kids, you know, they probably don't know, they don't have a comparison probably. The only thing that they want is obviously satisfying a basic need, which is hunger. All right, in the next video you'll see the travel from, I think this is from Mandaluyong, because I hosted kind of like a party the day before to thank my friends that are volunteering. And so from Mandaluyong to the center, you'll see snippets of pictures and videos of our travel, where our driver could not figure out where or how to get to the place. So we were like doing Waze and maps and stuff like that, and you'll hear some in the background that we were trying to help the driver. Yeah, and then during a group volunteer, you will see some pictures of like what the surrounding is like as you get into the slum area. It was, again, you know, it was a dose of reality, because I've only seen those images in you know, and when you Google Tondo Manila or slums of Manila, but to see the place in person is another thing. You get emotional. You smell the poverty, you see the poverty, and then you see people still with a smile. So you know, you get shocked, because how can people be still happy amidst what you think is not how people should live? All right. So in the next video, you'll see us kind of like helping our driver how to get to the place, and then you'll see us kind of, you know, like you'll see us probably in the center because I don't want to show you a lot of my friends' faces because I don't have their permission.
Kasi Jerry, wala yung hugging It's Manila Hotel. Yeah, then from there, it's a few more minutes.
Unless naman traffic.
Recto, yeah, I don't work yun.
Tondo na.
We're 8 minutes away. Tsaka bali C2 Road, Emilio Jacinto.
Carla Andia, Genesis Decoration.
Final thoughts. When you're getting a little older and you're satisfying a lot of your basic needs, and then you feel like you have enough of things that people would normally, want to have. You have a car, you have a house, you have things, you can afford things. You think about more about giving, right? So, in recent years, I think since I turned 35 onwards, I started volunteering and giving, but they're anonymous, right? It's never my thing to really ask for people's help when I'm giving. So, but in 2016, that was the first time that I wanted people's help. And people did come out of the woodworks and helped. So once again, people are great. People are charitable. When you ask, people give, right? But I think it's based on the relationship that you built with people. So hopefully that was a reflection of the relationship I built with all of you. And that's the reason why you gave to my chosen charity. So my colleagues, my friends, college, high school, elementary, their network of friends, they all gave. So that was very overwhelming for me. So I wanted to thank you again, everybody. A couple of friends, one special friend. I wanted to thank you. You know who you are. You've been kind of like my right hand until we had a little disagreement, but I love you, and you are instrumental to the success of this effort. We may not be talking a lot lately, but know that I appreciated the time, the effort, and the focus that you provided during the time that I needed someone, right? I needed someone to help me out with orchestrating the effort. It was my personal effort, but I share it with you because you're part of this whole, the success of this whole thing. So you know who you are. Thank you. And to all my friends that helped volunteer, thank you as well. We raised a lot of money that year. And so to end this episode, I encourage everybody to, think about where you are in your life, and then think about maybe helping, because I think, it's a great thing. It's a good feeling. It's a great feeling, and at the end of the day, I want to continue with this effort, but I have to really figure out long term what's the most contribution I could make to an organization, monetarily, my time, my effort, and then figure out if I can squeeze that in with my busy schedule. So that's kind of like the dilemma right now. have to earn a living. I have to still kind of think about like some helping others, right? Of you know, like a different kind of like charity, different kind of volunteer work, not just necessarily people in the Philippines, but other areas as well. So there's that effort. And now that we're not subject of volunteerism, Gawad Kalinga responded, people. For those of you that are interested in doing a volunteer tour in a eco farm in the Philippines, there is GK, or Gawad Kalinga Enchanted Farm, that I wanted to take some of you. And I will take some of you there. A few of you have already expressed your interest. So we are going to go. January 3 is the tour. So just to orient everybody, this is kind of like an eco farm tour. And it costs money. And the money is actually a donation to them. So each head is about 800 pesos. And you have to pay something. So it's 800 pesos per person. And it's 10 or more people. And what you do is you get fed there, and then you farm, and then you tour the entire area. So it's a sustainable kind of farming, right? Where I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and go to the website to learn more about them, that you actually get to see sustainable farming. You know, this organization helps with feeding people out of like harvest, right? They sell the vegetables that they harvest as well, and then they any proceeds they donate or contribute to education, right? I think it's elementary education. I have a very vague memory when I was reading the website. But yes, we're going to do this in January 3. I'll provide the transportation, and then don't worry about the PHP 800. But this will be a limited kind of invite to you all, and we will make this happen. All right. So I'll see you all in December, people. So no, actually, I'll see you in December because I'll be in the Philippines in December, but we will do the volunteer work in January. Again, save the date. January 3 will be there. January 3, 2019. All right. Maraming salamat po, everybody. And hopefully I can sustain vlogging. I think this is going to be a weekend vlogging. All right. That is it for today. Salamat again.